Hi, good evening. Welcome back to Sports Today. You're live with me, Rajesh Gupta. Well, what a cracker of a game that was. Some inept batting from the Royal Challengers Bangalore, apart from Glenn Maxwell, of course. But that meant Sunrisers Hyderabad won a thriller, last over thriller, by 4 runs. Brilliant last over from Bhuvneshwar Kumar. Brilliant penultimate over from Jason Holder. Some good bowling from Rashid Khan, although he went for some runs. But overall, a dynamic team effort from the Sunrisers Hyderabad, who were anyway out of the race for the playoffs. But what this defeat has done for RCB is that they now cannot finish in the top two. That's those are the two positions the top teams vie for generally, because obviously you're getting two shots at the final. If you reach the third and the fourth playoffs positions, you obviously have to win two games before you reach the final. And if you lose one game and you're out, so that is something the Royal Challengers Bangalore undoubtedly would have had in their minds. But brilliant batting from Jason Roy. He got a quick 544. There were some runs from Kane Williamson as well. Thereafter, Sunrisers Hyderabad, the middle order, like throughout the season, has been a cause for concern. They again collapsed in the face of some good bowling from Harshal Patel, especially, who has now, he created a bit of an IPL record equal just with Bumrah's haul of 27 wickets in a single season. So that has been one bright spark for Royal Challengers Bangalore, apart from a lot of other players who've done well so far this season. Harshal Patel, 3 for 33. Of course, Yuzvendra Chahal as well, bowling continuing to do well, 4 overs, 27 for 1. All that the Royal Challengers Bangalore needed to do was chase down 142. That's what they needed to win. But Virat Kohli got out early, and Devdutt Padikkal, he got 41, but it was a mighty struggle. It was a mighty difficult innings for him, 41 of 52. And he struggled against Rashid Khan, eventually perishing into the Afghan leg spinner. Brilliant delivery again. And he literally played around with Devdutt Padikkal. Rashid Khan was just too good for Padikkal. Again, Dan Christian moved up to number 3 for Bangalore. That move did not pay off once again. He got out for 1. Kona Bharat, who's done well at number 3, was again batting at number 4. He's been used as a bit of a floater, but I don't know. Maybe he's not used to playing in the IPL. He's not played too many games in the IPL, so maybe he's just mentally a little confused. Glenn Maxwell scored 40 rapid runs, so that innings kind of again brought RCB's chase back on track. But AB de Villiers batting low down the order really did not come off. So look at the batting lineup for Bangalore in this game. In a game that wasn't a steep chase. They had Virat Kohli, Devdutt Padikkal, the openers. You had Dan Christian at number 3. You had Kona Bharat at number 4. You had Glenn Maxwell at number 5, and you had AB de Villiers at number 6. In a game where AB de Villiers got to face only 13 deliveries. He was in brilliant form in the first leg of the season, but unfortunately he hasn't been himself. He hasn't been in his usual form so far in the second leg of the 2021 IPL. Well, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, though, brilliant bowling. What a last over, like I said, from Bhuvneshwar Kumar. Great 19th over from Jason Holder. That last delivery to AB de Villiers. AB de Villiers was perhaps trying way too much. Probably, we all thought he might just take a single, get back on strike for the final over. That wasn't to be. George Garton missed the first ball, got a single of the second ball. De Villiers did hit a 6 of the final over as well, but it wasn't enough. They needed 6 of the final over, but Bhuvneshwar Kumar, brilliant. And if you're an Indian fan, looking at a couple of bowlers, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, it's looking like he's coming back to form. He was looking pretty disappointing in the early half of the second leg, but now Manish, I'm sure you're happy, because this is exactly what we were talking about. We kept on talking about SRH pride, and there was so much murmur around pride. But hang on, they could also do this to RCB. Now RCB can't finish in the top 2, and now SRH will take that confidence into the game against Mumbai Indians. And Mumbai Indians will now be pretty nervous with the Sunrisers bowling attack. Look at this: Bhuvneshwar Kumar, you have Jason Holder, Umran Malik, Rashid Khan. So this Siddharth Kaul. And this bowling attack is beginning to look really good, and you just need some more consistency from the middle order.
Definitely. What a win! It was quite scintillating at the end, and watching Bhuvneshwar Kumar click form I was really glad, because pre-match show, when you asked me who is going to be my man of the match pick, I mentioned Bhuvneshwar Kumar there. So I'm really glad that my instincts proved to be true, and also Umran Malik. What a fantastic revelation he has been. He clocked 153 Ks today, and he has some serious pace. The only thing I feel he has to inculcate in his bowling armor is a bit of discipline. We saw him ball a few loose ones as well, but with such serious pace, if he's garnered in a proper way, then he can prove to be a serious asset in the Indian cricket team moving forward as well.
Yeah, where was Umran Malik all this while? In fact, he made this debut, what, the last game for SRH. He immediately impressed with his pace, consistently clocking late 130s, early 140s. Today, he was almost bowling at 150. Serious pace. This guy is Umran Malik, is serious pace. Like my phone, somebody saying Umran Malik is very quick. He is. And that's exactly what Virat Kohli said at the post match presentation, by the way. Here's what he said, and I'm quoting him. Umran Malik, is good to see a guy bowling at 150 clicks. It's important to understand the progress of individuals from here on, how to look after yourself. And this has been a story of Indian cricket as well. You look at the last several years, especially after Virat Kohli took over as full-time captain, he has focused on pacers. You know, Umesh Yadav has come leaps and bounds, a bowler who struggled with injuries. Ishant Sharma, he's been around for many years. He has looked very lethal under Virat Kohli as captain. Then you have Jasprit Bumrah, you have Mohammad Shami. Of course, he's been around before Virat Kohli took over as captain, but he's developed into such a good fast bowler. Siraj, of course, Mohammad Siraj plays with Virat at RCB, and now Umran Malik, and I'm sure the Indian think tank, the management, the selectors are going to really sit up and take notice. And that is the beauty about fast bowlers as well, isn't it, Manish? You see a fast bowler and you immediately take notice because they're so exciting to watch in full flow. And tell me about, as an SRH fan, yes, it has been disappointing. I know it's been a nightmare season, the controversy around David Warner. But how is it like as a fan to see someone bowling and steaming in with that kind of flair? Somebody who's playing for you. How does it feel as a fan?
Well, coming to this fast bowler bit, I think much of this credit should go to someone like Irfan Pathan, who has been
Yeah.
behind IPL teams scouting talent. He was the one who recommended Umran Malik's name to be a part of the Sunrisers Hyderabad setup as a net bowler, and now he's come at the big stage and performed so well. So Irfan Pathan is that one name who has been doing all this job behind the curtains, scouting talent. Abdul Samad as well, but of course, when you look at such serious pace and when you look at such Indian names doing well with extreme pace bowling, it's always a delightful feeling because you only think about the prospects of what can happen when these guys play on, say, Australian pitches or where there's a lot of bounce on offer. They can be lethal assets in any team that they play for. So
Yeah.
it's always a wonderful feeling, and what we saw from Umran Malik today was certainly special. And if he inculcates that extra bit of discipline in his bowling arsenal, then he can go a long way.
Yeah, no, that is so much for Umran Malik, and of course, a serious fight back from the Sunrisers Hyderabad. Again, playing for pride, or you want to dismantle some of the opposition. Sanju, what went wrong with RCB today? I mean, Devdutt Patikkal's innings was really painful to watch, right? Whether you're a fan or a neutral. Dan Christian coming in at number three. I understand what they're trying to do with Kona Bharat as a floater, but again, he's someone who's started doing well at number three, right? Yes, there was an early wicket. Virat Kohli fell early, but are they tampering too much with it? And even if you're not sending Kona Bharat number three, why would you want to send? There was another wicket. There was another quick wicket. Dan Christian also fell cheaply. Why would you send Kona Bharat ahead of Glenn Maxwell, who's been in super form, and then you're leaving AB de Villiers with about 12 or a dozen or a 13 balls to play within a chase that should have been really easy towards the end, thanks to Glenn Maxwell's exploits.
Yes, there was a slight miscalculation. I was unhappy with DP's innings as well because
Hmm.
after running out Maxwell, I just analyzed that DDP cost us the match because his innings was very much slow. For T20, we never expect such kind of innings. He played almost nine overs, 52 balls. He managed to score 41 runs. And as you told, yes, as I told in the beginning also, I didn't wanted Christian to come in number three. Kona's Bharat was good. I don't know what was wrong with the management or what was wrong with the captain. The decision, what they did, there was some fluctuations in the decisions going on there. So I think it's not to blame DDP or someone. I think it is to blame the whole team. Like there is no proper number three for RCB still. Kona as Bharat was
Yeah.
performing good. They started fluctuating them, sending him up the order, down the order. So you can't rely on Maxwell every time. So that unfortunate run out cost us the match. So I thought
No, I
DDP
mean
might.
you have relied on Maxwell. In fact, I think he was about to get he's what got three successive half centuries before that. And this is a repeated problem with RCB as well. Suddenly they made these bizarre calls. I remember last season they wanted to hold AB de Villiers back because they wanted to shield him from a leg spinner. Eventually, not him. He didn't end up playing too many deliveries, and especially with batsmen like Glenn Maxwell and AB de Villiers in a T20 setup. Sitting from the outside, you'd think that you'd want your two best hitters, your two most explosive batsmen, to play as many deliveries as possible. Sanju, is that constant, like you said, the constant chop and changing in the batting order, is that also worrying you as a fan? And now, what that has done is, for all facts and purposes, RCB will not finish in the top two because CSK will need to lose to Punjab by well over 100 runs for that to happen, and then RCB will need to win by a similar margin in the last game. So I don't think that's going to happen. Even if CSK lose to Punjab, I don't think they're going to lose by that many.
Yeah, that is for sure. CSK won't lose to Punjab by 100 runs margin. Look, considering their form, it is what
Yeah.
is unthinkable. Yes, being a RCB fan, that was little bit. Yeah, yeah, I felt sad. ABD would have been promoted up the order. So instead of Dan Christian, I wanted AB at number three because we never tried him. So he's a performer. Not only he gives us finishing runs, he can anchor the innings as well. We are seeing anchoring the innings many a times. So I think number three should have been Kona as Bharat, four Maxwell and five ABD. Some miscalculation cost us the match because, as you told, we can't rely on ABD. Giving him 13 balls, you're asking him to score 30 odd runs. It will
Yeah.
be difficult for a batsman. Even a person like ABD can't score with such immense pressure because that pressure was created by DDP. Being RCB fan, I am just practically telling that yes, DDP cost us the match.
Absolutely. Well, of course, Manish, there's somebody asking about Kane Williamson's captaincy as well. He took a smart captaincy from Kane Williamson, especially the way he managed that bowling attack towards the end. The field set for Jason Holder again with Bhuvneshwar Kumar. He was willing to attack, and you saw everything from the from the fact that he was willing to really let that charge go on against AB de Villiers. Aggressive captaincy, smart decisions, and good changes with the ball.
Yes, of course. And he looked quite animated today. He looked like a
Yeah,
man with intent who was determined to make the right changes and the right calls for the team. He knew that we were down in the dumps, and this is a victory that could also harm the opponent equally. So he made the right calls. He made sure that once Rashid Khan was targeted, he just took him out of the attack and then brought him back in the depth, because that was where we could have created pressure after the dismissal of
yeah,
Maxwell. And also the field setup, I thought, was brilliant. He spread the field quite well. He was inviting DDP to attack, and that showed that he wanted to pick wickets and take the game more into our favor. So
yeah,
excellent captaincy and great bowling to complement the changes which Kane Williamson made.
yeah. Sanju, you're getting a little nervous now heading into the playoffs. Again, like I said, the top two is almost more or less out of the question. And especially looking at Devdutt Patikhal's innings, yes, he's been a great find for RCB coming from the under 19 setup. He's done well. He's got 100, but he tends to slow down at times. And why would you want to encourage that? He walked off to an applause in the dressing room. Yes, obviously, even if he was admonished, nobody would admonish a young player in front of everyone. But why would you want to slow down like that when you have two or three such good hitters sitting in the bench for you? That is a concern heading into the playoffs.
Yeah, I think that might be a concern if the same performance continues to the playoffs because as you told, we are nowhere getting in number the top two spots. The three and four it's eliminator. Eliminator is very crucial because if you lose this, you're out. If you win
Yeah,
this, you're through the qualifiers too. So if you
yeah,
maintain such slow rate of runs in the eliminator too, that won't help. We don't know whether we'll be taking MI or KKR. According to me, it would be KKR. So even if you take KKR, the way they are bouncing back of the second leg, I think Morgan is good with his captaincy. So considering KKR's bowling lineup and good spinners Sunil Narayan and Varun still in, I think if DDP maintains this low rate, I think it's difficult. As an opener, we always expect opener to fire up. The first 6 overs are given for openers for the same reason. We send in our strong batsmen to fire up and score, get some runs. So if this is the case, then it would be difficult. I think DDP should be like he should be corrected wherever whichever shot is playing, and the timing of he's not able to time the ball properly. We have seen him. His timing for the scoop is not getting
Mm.
connected. So
Yeah.
there are some aspects or drives where he has to concentrate. If he gets the
Mm.
training well and if he concentrate on that, I think he can come out and play his best order in playoffs.
Yeah. No, in fact, you mentioned KKR, the likelihood that they might take on KKR in the playoffs. I mean, they've played so brilliantly in the first half of the IPL back in India. They started in the UAE, but they keep bounced back strongly. And now this defeat, what this could mean is even if they have to, even if they do reach the final, you're going to have to play that one extra game. And you lose one game and you're out. And also remember, if they take on the Knight Riders, they got out for 92. That obviously that game affected their net run rate so much. And now, with the pitches slowing down, with the pitches getting sluggish, you have Sunil Narayan, Shakib Al Hasan, and possibly Varun Chakravarti to contend with. So that's going to be a really serious task for Royal Challengers Bangalore if they were to place themselves. Now, I mean, now it's for all facts and purposes. Like I said, they'll finish on third, and of course, Knight Riders or Mumbai Indians, who knows, could be up in the fourth position. But that's that. Obviously, Manish is very happy with his team pulling one back and passing, just putting RCB through some sleepless nights before the playoffs. And Sanju is happy; he knows his team is already in the playoffs and would hope for some really aggressive push from Virat Kohli, Glenn Maxwell, AB de Villiers, and a bowling attack which is increasingly looking very, very strong for RCB as well. Well, then that's that. We're getting into two back-to-back double-header days tomorrow and day after tomorrow. On the 8th, don't forget, both matches will be played at 7:30 p.m. So tomorrow, of course, we'll be back with a couple of double-headers. A lot of the final position is still up for grabs. KKR, Mumbai Indians, outside chances for the Rajasthan Royals and Punjab Kings. Anything can happen. We'll wait and watch and figure out what really pans out. And it's all going to be decided on the last day, the last game of the last day of the league games in the 2021 Indian Premier League. Thank you so much for joining us, Manish. Sanju, thank you. You've been having
Thank you,
these
sir.
shows. We'll have to, of course, we'll get you back soon enough for the remainder games of the Indian Premier League as well. Thank you. Do subscribe to Sports Today and stay tuned for more, much more updates on this channel. Thank you.